Does the ministry take it into consideration when it says today that there's a 53,000 shillings mandate by schools right now? Are all of those things taken into consideration, and should they be? And is a 100% increase over the last 11 years justifiable?
Well, first let me, say that there was a reason, like you said, for 53,000. And times have changed. So it's incumbent on the government to reflect this when it comes to new amounts that are being voted to schools. So that has not been done, and it's a failure on the part of government. It's not a failure on the part of the principals and kids and parents. So that should have been looked at, and should have adjustments should have been made. Secondly, there should be an attempt, a clear attempt to ensure that if you say this is the limit, then you back this by force of law.
Yes.
We don't see any punishment. In fact, it's the first time I have heard that a principal is being punished for raising school fees.
Yep. Whereas this is a practice that has occurred for the last I don't know how long.
Yes. Since even the reason this task force formed is because of that problem. That levies are being charged right, left, and center for this, for motivation, for entertainment, for buildings. Even when resources have been voted to do infrastructure of schools, you see principals are doing that, and so there's a failure on the part of government, but there's also a failure on the part of the boards of management. And I blame parents a lot, because I always used to say when I was in the ministry, I don't like it when parents only complain after the meeting.
Well, this is interesting. If I may interject at that point, because. When we go for this orientation, or whatever the case may be, there's a part of that orientation that is not just telling you about what the school is about and its history and all of these fun things. It's also telling you, and it's said very clearly. I mean, you serve as an assistant minister in this ministry. But they tell you very clearly, they don't mince their words. And they say, yes, we receive money from government, but sometimes it doesn't come on time. Sometimes it doesn't come at all. And you know what they tell you? Would you want your boy or your girl to not have the resources required for us to deliver this education? So that is how you're greeted with it at the very beginning. So it's almost as though you have no choice but to acquiesce to this. And if the resounding majority says, you know what, guys, actually, and you can imagine you're taking your girl or your boy for the first time, they're going to boarding school for the first time, and the farthest thing from your imagination is that they should suffer in any way, shape, or form. So if somebody says to you, okay, this is what the government says we must charge, but if we had a little bit more, we would then be able to ensure that your child will then be able to go along. Trust me, you will pay.
Yeah, I know there was a parent in one of the schools in Kenya who, when they were told, when they spoke to the principal and said, look, we know this is the limit that we should be charged. You know what the principal told the parent? You can ask Kilemi Mwiria to take care of that.
Yes.
Yeah. So in a sense, I want to agree with you that, and then you are a parent.
Yeah.
You are a parent. You can see the reality. The problem is, it was not just that.
Okay.
There was also a taking advantage of the loopholes.
Okay.
That, once parents begin to, appreciate that we don't have enough, we know the schools don't have enough, and our kids have to learn anyway. And if your child is taken to a top school, a county school or a national school, I mean, there's so much prestige and so much pride about it, you would take no chance to have that kid, get out of that kind of school. So you give in. But there's also a problem. There's another side to it. The parents themselves. These levies are supposed to be introduced after parents have accepted.
Okay.
Yeah. So parents are consulted. There's a parent representative in the board of management. But the problem is that some of them have to compromise. You want favors from the
school administration,
from the school administration, from the principal. You are afraid that your child will be victimized if you don't do this. Yeah. So and then you are given certain types of incentives as a parent, and they give in. So that's why I was saying I kept on complaining about, why don't you complain there rather than after the meeting, on the way home is when you are saying, oh, now
because of those same things that you've mentioned.
Yes, I know,
you
I
don't
know.
want your child to
Yeah.
be victimized because they'll know this is this Dennis is this kid's father, and he has made noise in the meeting. It becomes a thing.
Yeah, and you are a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.